Oh, that's interesting. Hello, I am Philip Cooke, and we are about to present a demo of our Amazing Traveler Adventures app. Test visa requirements, and if you risk Zika, you can find all that out in one click. So just taking you through the A team here. This is an MVP, just ship it, baby. We have our lead developer, Adam Camacho. He was the conceptual founder of our product. The pictures are an obvious likeness. We have Philip Cooke, who's a sheep herder. I kept everybody in line, kind of focusing the boat going. And we also have Pradeep, who is key in our Sublime implementation, HTML, CSS, as well as some API integrations. Problem. So when we were conceptually going around what problem we wanted to solve, we wanted something applicable to the class, to the audience that we were working through, and we thought, what are people doing? People are thinking about freelance. How many people here are thinking about freelancing? How many people want to leverage that freelancing? Where can I go? Maybe I can work remotely. And this is really the problem that we want to solve. And so, especially those of us who travel a lot, who work abroad, there is a lot of monotonous research that you have to do. You have to look at the country, the visa requirements, how long can I stay, what do I have to fill out? That is the problem that we were looking at. Next slide. So the certain pain points just went through. I'm sure all of you have thought about, hey, let's go to Brazil. Oh, boom, go to the website, $350. I have to wait 6 months. I have to go to the consulate. These are the pain points that we were facing, and that is the problem that we wanted to solve with this app. So with that, I would like to pass. The sheep herder is going to be passing off to the lead developer, Adam.
All right, so what we did is right now, if you want to go to another country, you got to go to like the State Department website, for example, and then you can get individual information for that country. Every single citizen of every country in every part of the world has to go to their government site and then find the information. It's a pain. So what we're going to do is we made a map of the world, and we're going to incorporate all these laws into the map. So it's much easier to get the data visually than the current process. And then go ahead. Let's go ahead and load up the app. Take a look at it. Okay. All right, so that's the app. If you hover over any country, it's going to give you a little tooltip. And in the future, once we have the manpower, what we'll do is we'll actually give, like, say you click on Madagascar. Right now, with the legend, you can see whether it's USA, which is blue, or whether you can stay 30 days or less, 31 to 90 days, 91 to 180 days. Go up, please. Now, go up, please. If you go to, like, Madagascar, for example, if you hover on it, what will happen is you get a little tooltip. When we get more manpower, it'll give you the actual length of time you can stay in that country, because the legend is great for the whole country, for the whole planet. But with the tooltip, we'll say, like, for example, you can stay 30 days and then you can renew twice, right? So it's detailed information that right now you have to go through paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of information on State Department websites. It's a hassle. So if we do this, it just saves everybody time, and if you save everybody time, you can make money. Another thing that we would add in the future would be like a drop down on top where it would say like USA, Russia, Philippines, whatever. That way anyone on the whole planet can use it, because right now it's American centric. But once we add that drop down, then the whole planet would be our user base, because we just have to incorporate all that data. This part right here incorporates Firebase. That's Phil's part. What it does is people can put comments about what's happening right now, and then they'll appear below here. Once the site is professional, what I would like to do is use that to crowdsource the data that we need, because I can't know everything, but the world can know everything. So, like, let's say the visa requirements change in a country. Well, then somebody that's in that country can just go in there and leave a comment for me, like, hey, it changed in this country, and then I can just update the database. That way I don't have to keep track of everything myself. And then we scroll down a little bit. When you click on any country, just as a bonus, because we had to fulfill requirements, in the real project I would chop some of these things, but it gives you the current news from Madagascar. So let's say things are blowing up somewhere, you want to know the news and not go there, right? And then if you go lower, it'll give you images from Madagascar. These are safe images. At the moment, we don't have a filter, so some parts of the world that have beautiful women will show up here, and that is a problem. But we just didn't click on that, so we're okay. All right, and then let's go ahead and move on to the slides. All right, next slide. All right, this is our technology stack. We use the Balsamic. That's just a mock-up tool. It's about $100, but it's pretty useful. We use Raphael.js and Mapael.js. What that does is it creates these vector graphics that you can then tie to a data ID, and you can then manipulate the data. Bootstrap, it's a robust framework. It's old and people hate on it, but it works, and that's cool. New York Times and Flickr API. We did that to meet the requirements. We use Firebase for the database. Next one. All right, that's the mockup. The final product actually was pretty true to the mockup. Next slide. This is what Raphael looks like. Mapile, anyways. The vectors, those dots, they're vector points, and each one of those is an element, and within there's objects which represent the countries, and then that's how we end up manipulating it. Let's go to the next slide. All right, it comes with a pre-made legend. The legend is a bunch of objects. The data inside the objects, you match that data to the IDs in the paths in the countries, and when they match, it'll color the country a certain way. It's basically pre-built for you. You don't have to do much. I only scraped like the most basic knowledge I could out of this jQuery plugin. You can do so much more with it, but this is all we needed to do. That's all we did. But there's so much more you can do with it. Next one. All right. This is the New York Times API. All I did is I grabbed the data ID from each country, and when you click on the country, it feeds it into the API, and then it returns the data that we need to show all the current news so that you make sure to go to a safe place. All right. Next one, Flickr API. This is Pradeep's.
Yep, that's our third API, and we had a lot of problem finding API. I found API called this Sky Scanner. That's the perfect API for our project, but we couldn't use it. We have a lot of problem with the course, and that's a very, very, very painful situation. So, and then we switched to the Flickr API, and it's really good, and we cannot get the pictures initially, and I spent a lot of time. Then our lead developer came to help, so he has everything and everything ready to get going. And then we actually accessing the app in the app garden. We call in pictures but it's only give us like recent pictures. That's all we can get. But at the app development in the future, we're gonna try to get the most the past and the most recent both time in the both time frame pictures. So, and for now we have this, and we plug the data ID again. Get the when you click country, and we're gonna get the country name into the data ID, and the data ID plug in here, and it will retrieve the pictures. Again, this content is not filtered, so use it. It's not kids friendly. So, yep. Then, so I'm hand over to.
So all three of us really worked on how we were going to integrate with the Firebase, and integrate with Firebase. And one of the most valuable things we think we could bring through this, and what would really make this scalable, would be to develop a way to crowdsource all the feedback for people. If you look online, a lot of recent companies, there's Nomad.io, there's Roam. 2 minutes left. Oh, okay, so there's Roam, and so there's a lot of people who really have this problem. Where can I work? Where can I travel? And so we wanted to find a way to effectively try to crowdsource a lot of the feedback for people who are actually experiencing this live. So very long story short, one of the parts I'm most proud of is that we were able to get the jQuery library and the plugin to actually speak with Firebase. So we were actually able to create an object anytime somebody clicked on that country, and then they were able to push their comments into the Firebase database. So I don't really have time to go through the code, but if you wanted to pull up Firebase, for me, this might be basic for you guys, but for me, it was mind blown. But it was able to individually create the objects, push it in there. The data. What was most interesting for me is that I was able to create a data structure that I think I would be able to use. Thank you, Alan. And then with that, I'll pass it back to our lead developer to go through our future updates.
All right, so these are our future plans. We launched in June 2016 to great fanfare. And then August 2016, we're going to hit our 1 millionth user. In November 2016, we're going to hit our 10 millionth user, and we're going to fend off some acquisition offers. December 2016, we're going to do an IPO on the NYSE because we'll be too big for the NASDAQ. March of 2017, we're going to acquire Facebook in a merger of equals to maximize synergies. And then May 2017, Roger will finally accept Philip's LinkedIn request. All right, and then to wrap it up, future steps, we got to master Mapile. There's so much you can do with this tool. It is amazing. I would suggest that all you guys try it out. It's amazing. Step 2, we want to add individual data for each country. That's going to take a lot of man hours. I don't have them. And then step 3, we're going to add a drop down for each country so that it can be a global product, like US, Philippines, whatever. Next slide. Any questions for any of us, you guys? Thank you.